Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Geek-Stew. And today, guys, welcome back to another episode of Ctrl C, the Speedcast. Today's episode will live true to its name because we have less time today. Yeah, boy, got shit to do. But let me go ahead and bring in our very infamous co-host. He's wanted in at least 35 states. We have Salsa Shark.
Make it 36. Arkansas was a bust.
Fair enough. Arkansas is just a bust in general. Like, seriously, why is it pronounced Arkansas when Kansas is spelled Kansas?
You make a good point, but better question. Does Arkansas exist? Conspiracy theorists say no. Name me one person you know who lives in Arkansas.
Okay, but like, I did know somebody that lived in Arkansas. I had a friend named Amber from high school who moved to Arkansas to be with her spouse. Her spouse is in the military, so they.
That's the trick. They weren't actually in Arkansas. They were on a military base, which is actually located not in what we call Arkansas. It's actually divided up with the surrounding states.
I'm sure it is. It's like the same people say that Wyoming doesn't exist, but like I literally drove through Wyoming. I was there for like 20 hours.
Yeah, but tell me, did you feel like you existed while you were driving through those vast wastelands of nothing?
I mean, to be fair, it was pretty surreal just because how like open everything was. I mean, literally, I was driving from like I there was at one point where like we started seeing like um next stop is last gas for like 200 miles, and I was like, oh, we should get gas.
So when you see that shit, tell me you don't feel like you're about to just cross the threshold into the void.
It was very surreal. I will give you that. It was a very interesting experience driving through Wyoming and through Montana for sure. But anyhow, welcome back, folks. It is your friendly neighborhood controversy podcast. Um, the last time we did a podcast, oh God, when was the last time we did a podcast? I'm trying to even remember.
Probably 2, 3 weeks ago. We really should start doing it more often, but you know.
Yeah, tomorrow will be 2 weeks because it looks like we did one not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. So, I mean, we're getting more consistent. I mean, there was that time where like we didn't have Controversy podcast for like a month.
Well,
Happens.
we are the last people to talk about consistency, I can tell you that.
Right. But so yeah, so the last time you guys talked to us, we talked a lot about Resident Evil. And in fact, since the last time that we talked, Salsa's AC went out twice. Went out once, which we may have talked about on the last podcast, but then it went out like again right after it. And Salsa, do you want to give them just a real quick fill in on that, since this is this is an ongoing story?
Yeah, well, can you even call it individual incidents of tragedy when it's just an ongoing crisis?
Yeah, that's fair because it does seem to be one of those things where it's like it's kind of like a snowball. It starts off small, but then like gradually becomes worse and worse. Because something I didn't know that Salsa filled me in on is that their AC has been going out consistently, like every now and then since they've been living there. But usually it's for a short amount of time, so it really didn't, trigger any alarms. But then, lo and behold, it's starting to go out more frequently and for longer periods of time.
So last time we talked, I think I kind of informed everyone up to the point where two guys came and one basically said, "Yeah, I can put this part in and it'll work." And then the other said, "Yeah, no, it'll work for a few months tops if you keep repairing it, but you're going to need to buy a new unit and it's going to cost a fuckload of money." So obviously, our landlord is not the brightest person, so she ignored the people who told her she needs to replace it, and she kept repairing it, and it kept breaking down, kept getting repaired, kept breaking down. It got to the point where she fixed it, and within a day, it broke again. And any time we ran it for more than 10 minutes, it would trip the breakers. Not a good sign. That's a great way to burn down your house and die.
Which
Well,
at
not
this
a great
point
way.
you're like, at this point, which this may not be a bad solution.
I mean, if I'm gonna die, I don't want to burn alive, but shit, it's not the worst way.
You're like,
drown.
yeah, as a drowning probably the worst. At least fire it. You lose consciousness eventually.
But point is, so she fixes it. It can't run for more than 10 minutes without flipping a breaker. She calls an electrician. He comes, removes the panel on our breaker, and looks at it. And I'm standing here talking to him as he's doing it. And he says to me, yeah, you've got two 20-unit capacitors in here when you need one 40-unit capacitor. Two 20s is just going to keep shorting. And I'm like, I'm no electrician, but that doesn't seem like a mistake that even they should have made. Something tells me it's more of a, we had two 20s and didn't want to buy a 40.
Yeah, probably.
So he's like, yeah, cool. I put in a 40. We'll see if it works. And as he's leaving, he's telling me this stuff about, like, she doesn't understand that this unit is over 20 years old. And he, judging by his accent, I'm guessing he had immigrated from a Spanish speaking country. And he spoke very great English, but he started talking about how she is doing the worst thing for not only the economy, but herself. And that if you keep repairing a broken unit and it keeps breaking, you are harming the economy when you need to just go out and buy a new one, which helps these businesses make more. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. That is how the economy works, but we're more worried about if it gets cold in here or not.
You're like, look, yes, I get it. Capitalism is a corrupt system that makes the competition and cutting costs necessary. I get it. Capitalism sucks, but I just don't want to live in 80 degrees anymore.
Dude's giving me a class on supply and demand and macroeconomics, and I'm like, cool. Can we just make it so I don't sweat when I sleep?
make it so that way when I wake up in the middle of the night to take a piss, that I don't have to take a shower.
Yeah. It got so bad that I would wake up. First off, couldn't sleep for more than 5 minutes without waking up feeling like I'm suffocating. I couldn't sleep in my bed because I have these sheets that are stay cool, quote unquote.
Quote
But
unquote.
once it gets above 74, they're stay hot. They just don't cool down. So
They're stay hot.
I'm sleeping in the living room on the couch. Some nights when we didn't have a portable AC, I would literally just go outside and sit because it was colder out there. In the
See,
South, in the summer.
that's when you know shit's fucked, when like you go outside and it's cooler.
Yeah. We would look forward to going to the grocery store because that meant for at least an hour we would get to sit in a cold car, a cold grocery store, and be outside in the air, the breeze. So eventually we got the AC units, the little portable thing, only cooled the front room, the living room. Eventually I tricked it into cooling the front room and my bedroom. Call me selfish, but
You're like, fuck these other people, goddamn.
yeah, I'll say they want to fucking sleep in the cold, they can sleep in the living room. But point is, it gets to the most recent incident, which happened maybe a week or two ago. Thing's completely shot. She calls the same guy out, and he's like, yeah, no. Put in the 40 and it's still not working because it's such an old unit and so broken and damaged that it's running so hot that it is flipping the breakers nonstop. And if we keep trying to force it, it will burn the house down probably.
She's like, so my solution is let the house burn down.
Well, and basically, she gave us another solution, which would also have burned the house down. She's like, okay, I will try to replace it, but for now, I will give you window units. And we're like, that's not going to work. Each bedroom only has one outlet, and we can't run a window unit off of those and charge shit at the same time without burning the house down.
Oh,
Plus,
so it's gonna send your fucking. If you thought the AC was gonna trip the breaker, if you're gonna give, because there's how many, 3 rooms, if you're gonna give you 3 window ACs and then have you run all the other electricity at the same time, that
oh
fucking
yeah,
house is gonna explode.
Yeah, this thing is over 100 years old. There's no way this house would not immediately catch fire if we even thought about plugging in another appliance. So, and then she's like, and I'll also give you a big unit for the dining room to help cool the middle of the house. And we're like, well, you can't do that. You, when you bought this house, did not replace any of the wiring in the dining room. All the outlets are still old two-prong with no ground.
Right.
So she's like, oh, it's okay. I have a converter. And immediately we're all like, no, we're not going to do that. That will burn the house down. We know for
Bro,
a fact.
the converter literally neutralizes the ground. Like that's what it does. It's neutralizing the ground so that way it can go to a two prong. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're not plugging a ground directly into the wall, it doesn't work. So she's just like, yeah, we're just gonna fucking kill you guys. Let's do it.
Well, like, don't get me wrong. You could probably run a three-prong vacuum cleaner on a converter for like 30 minutes, and
Oh
it
yeah,
might not burn the house down. But an AC unit, which is going to have to run in the south of the United States, it's going to have to run most of the day. That's immediately going to just not even burn the house down. It's going to be like as if we had filled the house with napalm prior to lighting it with a match.
oh shit. Well, and
So
then you didn't you tell? Oh no, go ahead. I think you're about to say what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
I got to collect my thoughts. Where was I? So yeah, we basically tell her, yeah, no, that's not possible. And she's like, okay, we'll try this. We're going to need you to try running your broken AC, but don't let it drop below 78, 79 degrees. And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's broken. It won't even turn on for more than 10 minutes. She's like, well, maybe it will if we put in a capacitor, like a, not capacitor, a restrictor, so it can only stay at that temperature. And we're like, no, 78, 79 is not livable for someone. Northerners, we're Northerners. We moved to the South and we hate the weather here. We're not going to tolerate sleeping in 80-degree weather.
You're like, I mean, granted that is 30 degrees colder than it is right now, but
Like, and she's like, oh, it's okay. I keep my house at 78. And first
good for
off,
you.
that's the first thing is we're like, yeah, good for you. We're not you, first off. Second off, she's used to hot weather. See, I can't remember where she was born, but she comes from a very hot country. And she moved to the American South, a hot part of the country. She is used to heat. She goes outside and works nonstop in long sleeve shirts and jeans. She is clearly not bothered by heat. We are pasty white people who come from the Midwest, which is just south north.
Right? You're in the South to Electric Boogaloo.
Exactly. We literally are from a part of the country where it used to snow so badly that they would have to cancel shit only because the doors of the location you were trying to go to are frozen shut. I remember, and even then, that didn't stop us. I remember when I was in college, the frozen or the front doors were sliding, automatic doors,
Yep.
glass, frozen shut. So, of course, they did what they thought was reasonable for a northern part of the country. They just pried those fuckers open and propped them open so they wouldn't shut again. And it's like, well,
uh,
yeah, that worked, I guess.
I guess is the caveat there. Well, even beyond that, like, I mean,
What kind
it,
of
it
slumlord shit is that?
that's what I was gonna say. Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, first and foremost, regardless of like your preference, if a landlord wants to regulate how cold I have my apartment or my house, they need to A, put that shit into writing into my lease, and B, give me a discount because I'm gonna be fucking uncomfortable. Like
Fuck
that's
a
some
discount.
bullshit.
They can pay me to live here if they want to control how cold I can keep my house.
I mean that's fair. I mean, at that point, I mean, not to mention, I'm pretty sure it's illegal. Like unless there's like some like extraordinary circumstance, kind of
Well, you
like
have to remember, we live in the South, which is predominantly a Republican state, so most likely there are no laws protecting people from capitalism.
because they're pro life, quote unquote. But they're
Pro-life
not.
until you come out the vagina. In that case, go fuck yourself.
Don't even get me started on that. But yeah, no, for real though, it's exactly what it is. They're like they're pro birth, but then as soon as just as soon as you come out, it's you're on your own, fucker.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you're
shit,
homeless? Probably your own fault.
right?
Work
Get a job.
harder. Get a fourth job.
Get them. It's like fourth meal from Taco Bell, fourth job.
We joke about that.
uh,
but,
Jesus Christ.
but yeah, you can't just tell someone to do that unless it's in writing. And even then, many states have laws protecting people from slumlords like that. And all that aside, one of the people who lives here has health conditions that make it impossible to live in that kind of wet heat.
Right.
She swells up due to edema. You know, she her oxygen levels dip heavily when it gets too hot. We're talking to the point where hospitalization is necessary. And at that point, she just outright said, "Yeah, I'm showing her my medical documentation because legally speaking, she cannot do anything that would negatively harm my physical health."
Or
I'm
anyone
like,
who lives there, for physical health, for that matter.
I mean, my mental health was taking a toll, but fuck me, am I right?
Right. Exactly.
But we outright told her, "Yeah, no, that's not going to work. You need to uphold your end of the agreement and make this house livable." So miraculously, she finds a new unit to install. And the thing is, down here, like up in the north, we were used to living in places where the AC unit and the heating unit are different units.
Right.
Like even right now, you probably live in a place that has a separate heating and AC.
Yeah, and so we have a AC unit outside that is like the traditional, like they uses, I mean, what is it, Freon or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
And then we have a
uranium.
yeah. And then
Uranium 255.
we have electric heat. So we have like a thing in our water, because we have like a water heater. So we
Yeah,
have like electric heat. So we have like an electric mechanism in there that generates heat for us. So you are correct. It is two different units.
which is a smart way to do things.
Right.
Down here, it's all in one. It's just one giant metal fucking HVAC unit that sits outside your house.
Yeah, because
And
they don't have to worry about the cold as much as they do the hot. So it makes
exactly.
sense.
Then again, the people down here are so weak that if it drops below 80, they turn on their heaters.
Damn. I wish I had that problem.
So she's like, okay, we found a new one. We'll come and replace it. And at that point, we're stopping thinking, and we're like, wait a minute. HVAC units weigh a metric shit ton. They
A metric.
usually, yeah, a literal metric shit ton, like 2,000 pounds. And that's based on one of the residents' prior knowledge. So we may be off on that. I don't care to Google it. Point is, she's like, they literally,
Source. My source. Trust me, bro.
yeah, my source. Why do you want to know, fucker?
Right. Well, you want to know, libtard.
Source, my dick. So, sorry, it's actually the great Greek philosopher Boethius.
Both of these nuts.
So yeah, they weigh a ton. You have to usually companies will just bring a crane, not like a full crane that you have to erect, but like a I don't know, like one of the ones that's like a flatbed with a crane built onto it that has the stabilizers.
Right. It's not like a full on like, oh, we're about to do some serious construction. It's mostly used for transporting objects.
Yeah, less we're building a highway in New York, more we just need to lift heavy object and we're not going to erect a full ass thing. So we're like, okay, we don't know how she's gonna get it here because she's a cheap ass bitch. She is not hiring a crane. We know for a fact she ain't gonna do it. But we also don't know how she's gonna get it here and install it when it weighs so fucking much, unless she brings like 20 people.
It's just a fucking team lift of 14 people just lifting the one goddamn AC unit.
Pretty much. Literally a clown car of people would have to roll up and pick the shit up. But no, a white van pulls up into our yard, opens the back door, and there's a new unit. Not new, used, but newer than
Right.
25 years old.
It's
And
only
these
20. It's only 20 years old.
exactly. That gives us at least a couple years. By
Hopefully, you'll be gone
then,
by then.
yeah, by then we're either moving out or killing ourselves, so it doesn't matter.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Our exit plan is twofold. Exit or die.
Exit or exit life.
Yeah. Revoke brainstem privileges. So
Damn.
these two guys in an unmarked white van, I'm not convinced they are AC guys, but whatever. They pull up, they unload this fucker by hand, just the two of them. And
Oh,
they
shit.
they unironically install it and remove the old one all by themselves. No help. So I don't know what to say about that, honestly. At this
Is
point,
it
these
working at least?
it's working. I'll say that. Those two Hercules of men put in a unit that keeps the house cold.
You're like, look, at this point, if the house burns down or something horrible happens, it's fine.
Yeah, at this point, I've given up. I don't have the energy to put into it anymore.
Same. But at least for now, the saga of the AC unit, of Salsa's AC unit, at least for right now, the saga is over. Now, granted, it may start back up soon.
See,
So
living here is like an anime, in that our issues are divided into arcs. There are some arcs which are just fillers, and then there's some arcs that are multi-season long. And then there's arcs that go above those arcs, overarching arcs. Our overarching arc right now, the main plot of this anime, is the cockroach problem. The fact that
the coconuts.
there are literal demon bugs, 3-4 inches long, that just regularly show up out of the blue. But right now we have closed the the AC arc, and we're moving on to I don't know what else we got going on right now. Everything seems to be running suspiciously well.
Oh, you just you wait.
Yeah, any minute now, something's gonna happen.
Well,
No, that's about it. I guess we do have a few more minutes if we want to talk about something gaming related.
well, I don't have anything gaming related, but I was gonna say, and this is completely off topic. Well, kind of. You said something earlier that reminded me of it. So this is just a reason you guys should follow Salsa and I on Twitter. So it's no mistake that me and Salsa are both at least somewhat left leaning in our political views. And the other day, Salsa had to take one of his roommates to the hospital because they had a kidney stone, and he posted on Twitter about it. Now,
It was a joke tweet, by the way. I was just fucking around because I thought it would be funny.
right. I mean, to be fair though, it was funny, but it was also, I mean, it was accurate. I mean, realistically, it was an accurate tweet. I mean, let's see. I'm gonna pull it up real quick for people who are plebs and aren't following us on Twitter.
I was like, screenshot it and put it in the video so people have visual reference.
So basically, he says, just sat in a waiting room for 10 hours just for my friend to even get a room for their intense kidney stones, all because the hospital is flooded with unvaccinated dipshits on death door for their stupidity. Have a mind to tell them to fuck off and die elsewhere. Now, obviously, Salsa's joking. Salsa has compassion. I mean, he likes to think that he doesn't. But he does to some degree have compassion. I mean, he just has a hard time.
I have a condition that makes me compassionless by nature. I've just learned to feign compassion, and I'm good at it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But I mean, the point here being is that Salsa doesn't actually wish ill will on other people. I mean, maybe to some extent, but the point being is that it's a very accurate statement. Now, some dipshit who I have no idea who they are, never seen this person on Twitter in my life, literally stuck out Salsa. He wasn't following you or me.
I can tell you what happened. He went onto Twitter, and in the search bar, you can literally just type in keywords, and he
Yeah,
looked out unvaccinated because there's no other way. Plus, if you looked on his Twitter account, you could clearly tell he's the kind of guy who goes around looking to pick fights with people who aren't anti-vax.
exactly. I'm trying to see if I can find the guy. Uh,
Um,
I found him. It's. Do you think it's a bad thing if I say at?
yeah, don't do that. That's
Okay.
doxing.
Well, it's not technically doxing because I'm not giving out any personal information. It's a public Twitter profile.
Yeah,
But
but doxing has gotten so vague now that if you even mention their Twitter handle, it can be considered.
so I won't say their Twitter handle. I won't even say their full name.
You can
Let's
just
just call.
describe what they look like.
Well, it's like a dipshit. But I mean, uh,
Problem solved.
I mean, I'll say this. Their name. We'll call them Chris. Okay, we'll call them Chris. So
Christian?
Cristiano. God no. So like Salsa tweeted this. I commented just saying I won't wish death on others, but at this point, if you are unvaccinated and can be vaccinated, and you are in hospital due to COVID, you deserve no more sympathy. As you said, go die elsewhere, so that the people who need help and did their part to be treated, can be treated. And so this person hops on basically. I don't even understand. He said that kidney stones can be caused by poor life decisions, so that we should go home and pass kidney stones at home, which
Like, don't get me wrong. Poor life choices like bad diets can make kidney stones worse, or it can help some people who would otherwise not get kidney stones.
right.
But we know for a fact that over 50% of kidney stones are caused by a genetic condition which builds up calcium in the urine, which leads to calcium kidney stones. Like, I even posted him the link to a government website that confirms this. But go ahead, continue.
Well, see, that was your first mistake. You think I trust the 3-letter agencies?
.gov might as well have been .Satan.
Same, but like and so like, but he posted about how kidney stones are caused because of whatever bullshit, and I just replied, kidney stones can be literally caused by dozens of things, blah blah, too much or too little exercise, infections, genetics, etc. And then I basically said I was like, yeah, dietary choice can cause them as well, but the issue here is that most people are willing to change things about themselves to prevent future kidney stones and issues with them. And the issue here is that there are people who refuse to not vaccinate, wear masks, and people who are refusing to prevent preventable illness are rushing to the medical experts they didn't believe in the first place to save their lives. And then the unvaccinated are bombarding ICU units in like a lot of states, preventing other people from getting treatment, yada, yada, yada. So basically, we tried to prevent it, but there are people who didn't try to prevent it. And then those people who didn't try to prevent it are now causing issues. That's the issue. Basically, the end all be all is that the unvaccinated are encumbering our hospitals. So someone else who has a podcast, which I guess I'll give them a little shout out.
Yeah, shout out to them because they followed me from another incident where I schooled some dipshit who kept trying to claim that a majority of Texas's uh, COVID cases are in the Rio Grande Valley and are because of immigrants and undocumented illegal immigrants. And I literally pulled up statistics from the beginning of the pandemic to now, crunched the numbers myself, and proved without a doubt that less than 40% of cases come from the Rio Grande. And that was only counting the top 10 counties. Had I continued, the number would have been less than 20.
Yeah. So their name is In Poor Taste. Their at is In Poor Taste Pod. So, and it's uppercase I and N. uppercase P in poor, uppercase T in taste, and uppercase P in pod. So in poor taste pod, first letter of each word capitalized. So
I
they're
definitely
awesome.
put them in the description and even shout them out on Twitter. More props to them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. When I tweet about this episode, I'll probably tweet them too because it was just funny because they hopped on there, and I mean they had some good quips. I mean Salsa did too, of course. I think my favorite was at some point. I don't know. I think that Chris, our friend, basically was acting like we were attacking him. And so, and this one was funny because then Porte says people who wear seatbelts still die in car accidents, so let's get rid of seatbelts too. So you're too stupid to understand nuance. Vaccinated people can get COVID, but almost none of them die, and the chances of being infected are minuscule. But I'm talking over your head. And so I responded to the person because they had some other things. But then Salsa posts this thing and says someone said something I disagreed with. Solved. One, say they're wrong. Two, refuse to back up your claims. Now you're debating like a true conservative.
And the best part
Uh,
was it took me all of 2 minutes to make that. The minute I heard him say that dumb shit.
I mean, and then we had like this really interesting like back and forth. It was between me, you, and in poor taste. But so you said, imagine being so afraid of the truth that you unironically criticize someone for saying too much. Because to be fair, I'm long-winded, clearly. So that translates to Twitter as well. I'm very long-winded on Twitter, just generally speaking. But I wrote like 4 tweet links of information, and he's like, "Okay, thanks for the book," and I'm like, "Bro." And so then Importe says, "Dude's never even read a book, much less written one." And then And then Salsa says, "Hold on now, that's not entirely true. Clifford Goes to School is a beloved classic. Just don't spoil the ending. He's been working hard at finishing that by the end of the school year," um, which was a beautiful take back. And then he said something else. I can't even remember. Uh, he said something about, wow, liking your own tweets. And then
We couldn't figure out what the fuck that means.
same. I was completely confused. I was like, I have no fucking clue what the fuck he's talking about. Like, I'm not liking my own tweets. I was liking your tweets and in poor taste tweets, but I wasn't liking my own. Like, I don't get me wrong, I'm very self-conflated, but not that self-conflated to like my own fucking tweets.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a narcissistic dickhead, but I'm not that bad.
Right? And it's like, and then in poor taste, every con is a conservative, is a cowardly moron. It's literally in their DNA. Small frontal cortex, massive amygdala. And then he says lizard brain, fucking Cro-Magnus. They're just like, holy shit. And he posted a fucking ncbi.gov fucking link. Like, holy shit.
That's the best part is he unironically posted proof that conservatives are basically brain dead.
Fucking smooth brain.
Just, holy fucking shit, my guy.
Oh, shit, dude. I just don't even. Oh,
That's,
man.
that's not even my favorite part of the whole thread. I have to log into a different Twitter just so I can actually see.
Oh yeah, something he said. Yeah, he. By the way, he blocked me, Salsa, and Portes.
Of course.
Which, of course, I mean, like, why wouldn't you? I mean, at this point, why wouldn't you block us? Because, I mean, you have no. He had, like, I don't want to like talk. I mean, I don't care if I talk shit, but like, I don't want this to turn to one of those things where he's like, "Oh my god, he's doing stuff. He's saying stuff mean about me, mommy." You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to turn into one of those things.
So the last thing we need
Uh,
is to give a conservative another reason to bitch and cry on Twitter.
Exactly. So I don't want to give him too much reason to bitch and cry on Twitter, but like it is a mind-bogglingly awful truth that like he blocked us, and the reason he blocked us is because he couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? Like that's ultimately why he blocked us. He couldn't handle the fact that he was being questioned, and it.
My favorite part is right here. In response, because for some reason he started making fun of in poor taste and is like, "Oh, typical liberals and wasting your college degrees, living in your parents' basement." And poor taste is like, "Dude, I'm literally making X amount of money and I've got a political science degree, magna cum laude, so I'm pretty not educated on the topic at hand." And he's like, political science. I believe Monica Lewinsky was a political science major. What do y'all have in common? And he's like, we're both smarter and make more money than you. And
See, he was going low, but we swang high.
and I respond, you could say the sky is blue, and Chrissy here would unironically say there is no proof the sky has ever been blue, but less eloquently spoken, and would make some outdated political reference, like saying you eat only Grey Poupon mustard or wear tan suits like Obama, a
Right.
classic Fox move, which anyone who knows anything about Fox knows that is easily the best thing they've ever bitched about on live TV. Like, do you remember that?
I do. I remember the gray suit fucking issue. Um, I don't get the Grey Poupon reference. I'm not gonna lie, but I do know the gray suit because I don't know. They just didn't like the fucking suit Obama wore. Like I don't
Yeah,
understand.
they,
Like,
they said him wearing that tan suit was unpresidential.
bro, it's a fucking tan suit. Like, goddamn.
I mean, don't get me wrong, tan suits are kind of ugly, but he's the fucking leader of the free world. He can
Right.
wear whatever he wants as long as he's putting forward the legislation that doesn't suck dick.
I was gonna say as long as his dong's not hanging out, but at this point, I would accept a fucking nude president as long as they're doing their job.
So I say that as a joke. And this motherfucker unironically says, actually, it isn't. Blue is an optical illusion, just like blue eyes. They both only appear blue because of light refraction. Wow, what a waste of college tuition on y'all liberals. So
See,
I'd say blue is the name we've given a certain wavelength of light, a proven fact. So blue is real. The sky is blue because sunlight is being scattered and refracted many times over in the atmosphere and appears as blue. Even if we didn't exist, the sky would still be blue, but nice try. This dude didn't say blue wasn't real, but there is no blue pigment floating in the sky or in your eyes. Fact. So I'm just confused at what the fuck he means at this point. So I say, you do realize that even blue paint is just blue because of how we interpret refracted light, right? All color exists because of this. You don't genuinely think that blue paint is any more real than the blue of the sky, do you? You can't be this stupid. She's like, no, my little friend, there is blue pigment in paint and in flowers, but there is no blue pigment in the sky or blue eyes. What?
and you even you even gave him a nice little PBS article to kind of.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my god, that cracks my shit up. Oh fuck. Oh man, it just because here's the thing that kills me. These people jump on here and they're willing to make these huge, knockdown, drag out arguments about dumb shit. But then, like when you confront them with sources and everything else, they always say the same thing. I mean, realistically, the long story short is like, you're wrong. Trust me, bro.
I think somewhere I said, I may not have in this thread, but I posted a picture. It says, sources cited, and it's just a picture of a crack pipe.
uh,
Twitter is my most favorite hobby nowadays. Just going on there and saying some basic ass shit that is not. It's hard to find fault in what I say usually because it's either an opinion that is clearly a joke or it's
yeah,
just objective fact, like the sky is fucking blue,
yeah.
and then a conservative bitches and says, "No, it's not."
I just can't. I can't, dude. I can't. I just physically cannot. Like, anyhow, like I don't
We'll
want to
get to
roll too
white
much.
girl now.
I really don't. I don't want to get too white girl, but I'm about to. I'm about to go get my fucking pumpkin spice fucking latte and just tell you how much I fucking can right now. Goddamn.
I could go for some Starbucks, unironically though.
Dude, same. I really want a caramelized coffee. Like I've been dying for a caramelized coffee, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says. If you don't like caramelized coffee, you're sucking dick, dude. Which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I just find that those who don't like caramelized coffee also happen to like sucking dick. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, same, but also not same.
It would be more fair to say that people who who unironically criticize others for liking Starbucks are the kind of people who love to suck dick but turn around and then say some homophobic shit.
Exactly. I honestly feel like there's a correlation there. Like, honestly,
Republicans.
God damn Republicans. Them libtards, though. But it cracks me up though because there are people like where I work. I'm not going to disclose where I work, but where I work, we have like a chat.
CIA.
The CIA, the NSA, boy. But no, we have like a chat system where we can help one another and where we can communicate to people. Especially since I work from home, this is especially helpful. But the other day, somebody was talking about like iced coffee, and they're like, he's like, I'm too manly to drink iced coffee, and I'm like, how can you be too manly to drink iced coffee? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's random.
Too manly to eat ice cream. That sissy liberal frothed delight.
Right. Actually, what's that milk that you guys get down there that you really like? Oberweis?
Mayola. Oh, or do you mean Promised Land, which is like that really thick chocolate milk?
Or no, I think you've told me about it before. It's called Oberweis.
Oberweis.
Maybe you haven't told me about that.
No, I mean we have Mayola, which is a really good local brand.
I
Like
gotcha.
the cows are pretty local. It's very good. It is creamy, delicious. Any store brand milk around here sucks dick.
Really?
I don't know why. Because back in Indiana, store brand milk was amazing. Kroger brand milk, cheap and delicious. I
Well,
think it's just because cows are a little more common up there.
a little more abundant, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I was gonna say is I found some ice cream the other day because you said ice cream is a liberal gay boy stuff. Um, but no, I found some ice cream up here. It's called Oberweis. Um, it's Oberweis ice cream, and like honestly, it was the best ice cream that I've ever had in my entire life. I got because like I love butter pecan. I love pecan flavored things. But I got butter pecan ice cream, and holy shit, it was the best ice cream that I think I've ever had.
Ooh, I'll tell you. In Indiana, my favorite ice cream was Kroger had three name brand or store brands. PSST, which is like their food for people who can't afford to live.
It's the same though.
We're talking like macaroni box that's like 30 cents.
Right, yeah, I know what you mean.
Terrible quality, but if you can't afford to live, here's a way to
Bro,
live.
I thought that was like that is Kroger brand, isn't it? That's like
Yeah,
well, it's not Kroger brand. It's like the Kroger brand of the Kroger brand.
yeah. Because then they
Because
have this Kroger brand, which is
right,
okay.
right. I like most of the Kroger brand stuff. I mean, it's typically cheaper, and I mean, I think it tastes comparable to most things. There are some things that I can't bend on. Like, I can't eat any like mayonnaise other than Duke's mayonnaise. Like, Duke's is the best in my opinion.
I'm gonna be honest. I've had Dukes. It ain't bad, but most of the time around here we just get standard fucking
Hellman's.
yeah, Hellman's.
I was gonna say you better not say some dumb shit like fucking Miracle Whip.
Miracle Whip is a complicated topic. I like it
Yeah.
sometimes on burgers only because it reminds me of that diner I worked in as a teenager.
And here's the deal. Like, I act like I hate Miracle Whip, but like in reality, I don't hate Miracle Whip. It's just I don't like when people substitute it for things that require mayonnaise because then you end up with like this sugary mess that's just disgusting, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Because, like, for instance, I can't remember who it was, but they made fucking tuna salad with Miracle Whip,
Now
and
that's a
like
bold move.
bro, it made me want to blow my brains out. I ate it and I was like, this is the most disgusting thing that I've ever had in my life. Like tuna, don't get me wrong, tuna can have like a complex flavor palette. You can go for basic tuna with just tuna and mayonnaise, or if you want to get extreme, you can throw in some celery and onions and go for the tuna salad. But if you make it with anything but mayonnaise, it's not tuna salad anymore. It is disgusting.
Honestly, if you're making tuna salad, the only acceptable things to put in it, if you're making it for more than just yourself, is tuna, mayonnaise, salt, and pepper. That is a basic tuna salad that anyone can enjoy. And if you put in celery, knowing other people are gonna have to eat that, you're a dickhead. You're a fuck.
See, that's how I do my tuna salad. I just do tuna, mayonnaise, salt, and pepper. My
That's
wife,
all you need.
well, my wife, she likes to put in like egg and onion and stuff like that.
The fuck?
But uh, because like some tuna salad does have like egg and shit like that in it.
No. No, 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 no. Subway got it right. Subway tuna salad is literally just tuna and mayonnaise. They don't even bother with the salt and pepper. That's the baseline. If you make it worse than Subway, then you fucked up.
Dude, I love Subway's tuna though. I don't even care if it is doing tuna at this point.
Bro, you know who has a shitty tuna though?
Ew. Jim
Jimmy
John's.
John's.
I
It's
fucking
just
knew. I knew you were gonna say that.
it's so weirdly sweet and crunchy.
Well, there's this tuna salad. It's got like celery and shit in it.
Well, that's
So
the thing is even Subway's is tuna salad. It's just that in recent years they've changed its name to just tuna because tuna
yeah.
salad turned people off.
Well, in my opinion, I feel like the definition of tuna should be tuna like is just like tuna and mayonnaise and like seasoning. Like I feel like you could call that just tuna by itself. But then like if you introduce the word salad, that to me implies that you're putting shit in there that doesn't need to be in
See,
there.
I look at it as anything becomes a salad the minute you introduce dressing. And mayonnaise is, by all accounts, a dressing.
I guess that's true.
And I think that's a very good way to look at it. Because, for example, if you mixed up hard boiled eggs, fucking onions, and I don't know, dill, you don't have a salad. You just have a fucking gross mess of whatever the fuck that is. Throw some fucking mayonnaise on that, you got yourself an egg salad.
Exactly. Oh,
And
I
that's my thing.
love me some egg salad. Love me some chicken salad. I'm like I don't know. I like weird shit. Like people don't like that stuff. I'm just like, how? It's so good.
Like, I like egg salad pretty much universally. Tuna salad only if it's tuna and mayonnaise. No, and you can throw in it like seasonings, but
Right.
potato salad though, potato salad, I will go. I'll fight. You should not put mustard in potato salad.
Really, I love mustard and
No,
potato
no.
salad.
Mayonnaise. It
I
should be
mean,
all mayonnaise
well, like
because
Walmart has like deviled egg potato salad that has
oh
mayonnaise
no,
and mustard. I love that
no, no,
shit, dude.
fuck that. I don't like. I prefer my potato salad creamy and soft. My problem is people who put mustard in theirs, it's no longer creamy. It tastes kind of tart. And they almost always don't cook the potatoes long enough.
Yeah, I have seen that though, where like most of the modern potato salads that have like mustard and stuff in it, like the potatoes are more al dente. I do agree. If I had a choice between like standard like deviled egg potato salad from like Walmart or like some like homemade soft like creamy potato salad, I would probably choose the homemade version because like I do prefer it to be creamier. But I don't know. I do like the deviled egg version. I don't know. I've always liked it like that.
I mean, more power to you, but I'm just gonna say if you bring that into my house, those are fighting words.
That's fair. That's fair. I won't bring it into your house then. Shit.
Man, I don't think there's. I guess one thing I'll bring up before we do end the podcast that is gaming related.
Yeah.
Fucking, if you've never played No Man's Sky, you are doing yourself a disservice at this point. I am befuddled with how amazing that game is. Because I remember when it came out, it flopped so hard.
Yeah.
But I booted up because it comes with Game Pass now.
Yep. Sure does.
Holy shit, dude. I've logged too many hours in the last 2 weeks. It is just so addictive because, like, one minute you're just like, oh, yeah, here I am building a cool base on a planet where it rains acid nonstop. And next thing I know, I'm like, yeah, let me just go to space and go to a new galaxy that no one has ever seen before. That is the coolest thing. There are 16 quintillion planets in that game. Do you understand how big a number that is?
No, I do. That's a lot. That's a lot, dude. And
Like
like, go ahead.
the best part is it shows who discovered what galaxy and what planet and then when they did. Like the other day, I crossed through a galaxy that was discovered years ago by some guy who bought the game at launch, probably. But then the next warp I made to the next galaxy, untouched. No one had ever been there before me. And it now says, found by Salsa Shark on this day. Is that not wild to think about?
I mean, that is pretty cool. I mean, I do like that aspect of it. I mean, I'll have to play the game. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be sort of an endeavor to like start playing that game because I feel like they're just like it's one of those things. It's kind of the same reason why it took me so long to like even try to play a game like Skyrim or Mass Effect. It's just I feel like there's a lot of work that would have to go into me playing that game. I don't know, but I do want to give it a try because I've heard quite a bit of like really good stuff about it.
I'll say with Mass Effect, it is kind of daunting to get into it. But once you start, it's not that hard. Plus, you can always opt to change the settings to where, like, if you want a game experience that is easy difficulty fighting, but is a very story heavy, it lets you. But knowing you, you probably enjoy a good fight.
Yeah, I do. I do like a challenge, a good fight. I do like that.
But with like this game, it's Minecraft. It's literally you've played Minecraft, you know how fun it is to spawn into a world and to just go at it. Find resources, build up what you have, and keep going. That's all this is. Like literally you spawn on a planet and it's like, okay, let me just collect some carbon, let me collect some ferrites and build this and then this. Plus, if you really don't want to start from the beginning, you can always just play with a friend because yeah, I'm pretty sure you spawn in at different parts of the universe, which makes it really hard to fly to each other. But you can just use a portal now. They have teleporters.
See, I'll have to do that because yeah, I think that's part of my issue. Is like I feel like the startup is going to be hellacious. So if I just play with you, it'll probably be a lot easier for me to get into the game.
Oh, yeah, I could literally just be like, "Hey, what do you need?" Go to my base, pick it up, and then just teleport right to your base.
There you go. But one small note that I want to say before we end, I'm going to try and play that. Also, I've been trying. I picked back up Days Gone for the PlayStation. It's a lot of fun. It's it just I stopped playing it for a while because it was just a lot. I was playing like a bunch of other games. I also been playing Splitgate, which I'm trying to get Salsa to play. It's pretty fun. It's good.
I'm kind of torn on Splitgate because on one hand it sounds fun, but on the other it looks. There's another game coming out like soon that looks just like it called Lemniscate.
That's strange. I've never heard of it.
And neither had I until I just spotted it on Xbox Game Pass. Let me Google it just to be sure I'm not collectively having an aneurysm and making shit up.
I will say that I'm pretty sure Splitgate's still technically in its beta. I don't think this is like the final version of the game.
Okay, so there is a difference. Lemniscate is a turn-based strategy FPS that takes
Oh
place
yeah,
in a time loop. It
there you
just
go.
the cover of the game looked a lot very similar to me. And even then, I bet if I look up Splitgate, I might just be fucking nuts.
Possibly, but Splitgate's pretty fun. It's basically it reminds me of old school shooters like Halo and Counter Strike, where you couldn't really aim down sight. It was just more of like a hip shot type deal. There are guns you can aim down sight with, but it basically really streamlines and simplifies like your gaming.
It's an
Also,
arena sandbox shooter, just
yeah,
like Halo. Right?
yep, and
Halo
then
in its good day.
right in its heyday. But also add into that portal because you have the ability to use portals, and the portals are pretty helpful if you get used to using them and stuff. So it's quite a bit of fun. I really enjoy it, at least so far.
I mean, I'm all for introducing something new to a genre to revitalize it. And introducing portals to an arena shooter, That's pretty wild. That's pretty radical. Not just radical as in, far out there, but radical as in, now that's rad.
Right. Oh Lord.
I'll definitely
But
have to give it a shot. It's just, I don't know. I'll have to find out where to download it so I can play it.
PlayStation, Xbox, computer, it's everywhere.
Yeah, I pretty much just use PlayStation, or not PlayStation, Xbox now. Question is it Game Pass or is it just a free to
It
play?
yeah, it is free to play. So yeah, it's free to
Oh,
play. They there is like you can buy like loot crates and stuff, but like they're only cosmetic. There's no benefit to buying them. You just
well,
look
that's good.
different.
That's that's good because I hate pay to win, but at the
Same.
same time, God, I am a slut for cosmetics.
Yeah, I know. But you actually you have a pretty good chance of like winning stuff. Like usually every time I sit down and play, I always get another loot crate of some kind, or they call them drops. Basically, you just get new shit.
I'm all
So
for that.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you get them pretty frequently, at least from what I've played so far. So you don't even necessarily have to spend money at all. But the further you level up, the actually more you get. You can it basically the more you level up, you actually get some of the currency from in game. So in reality, you could save up and buy stuff if you want something specific, but you get stuff pretty frequently when you play that game. Plus, there's like daily bonuses and shit like that, like login bonuses. So if you log in every day, you get shit. It's pretty cool. They try and make it pretty playable for everybody. So if you want to spend money, you can. But if you don't, like I don't, then you're fine. You don't need to spend money.
Fair enough. I'll
But
definitely have to try it, It's not like I got much else
no,
going on these days other than playing No Man's Sky, which I
yeah,
am
right,
addicted to.
fair. But all right, folks, I do have to hop off here. So we're going to go ahead and say thank you guys for listening to the Control Receipt podcast. Go ahead and give us a like and subscribe. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and all that. Follow Salsa and I on Twitter because like we like to get into some shenanigans at Pint Size Beast and at Salt Struck Jr. And yeah, so what I'm going to do now is tell you to stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, stay awesome. And Salsa, go ahead and close us on out.
I was prepared last time. I had something cool to say. This time I don't have much cool to say. But I will say though, as a good rule of thumb, if you are not a horse, do not take horse medicine.